no, I'm probably okay. It's just a girl locked in a bathroom. I'll figure it out. So I get to the group home, and the group home attendant is like, yeah, she's been in the bathroom for like over an hour. We're not sure what she's doing in there, but she won't come out. So I was like, cool. So I walk over to the door, and I'm like, I knock on it, and I go, hey, Susie, or whatever her name was. I was like, hey, my name's Eric. Just wanted to check in with you and see what's going on. She's like, are you a cop? I was like, fuck. I was like, well, yeah, I actually am a cop. Do I sound like a cop? She's like, yeah, you sound like a real douchebag. I was like, son of a bitch. So I was like, hey, just real quick, you're not hurting yourself or anything, are you? She's like, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I said, well, if you say that, I'm gonna have to kick your door in and come rescue you. I'm gonna have to come save the day. And she's like, I don't know why you would kick the fucking door down. It's unlocked. You could just open it. And I was like, oh. So I like jiggled the door handle, and sure as shit, it was unlocked. And I was like, fuck. I was like, okay, well, hey, do you mind if I open the door, come in? She's like, you literally just told me you were going to kick it in. So I'm guessing if you have the authority to kick the door down, you have the authority to just open it. And I was like, fuck, man, this chick is eating me alive. So I was like, you don't have anything that's going to hurt me, do you? She's like, maybe I do, maybe I don't. Find out. I was like, fuck. So I pulled my taser out with my left hand, and I swung the door open with my right. And she was standing in butt naked in the bathtub with a shard of glass, like almost all the way through her wrist. And I freaked. I was like, stop cutting yourself. But she had her hands down by her vagina because that's where she was cutting her wrist. You know, like if you were to hold your hands down, you know, by your waist and slice your wrist upwards. So I was staring at where, you know, her wrists were cutting. And anytime you shoot, you always shoot at what you're looking at. So I pulled the trigger on the taser, or squeezed the trigger, and I fucking pulled it. I yanked that motherfucker. But I yanked the trigger on the taser while I was looking at her pussy, and both darts just flew right into her vagina. And she falls out of the bathtub, barely misses the sink, hits her nose on the tile, blood goes everywhere. And she rides the lightning for, 5 seconds, and she's like, oh my God. And I was like, are you okay? She was like, you tased me my fucking pussy. And I was like, what? And I rolled her over, and both darts are like center mass right between the labia. And I was like, oh my God, I did. She's like, why would you tase me in my fucking pussy? Blood is going everywhere. Like blood is gushing from her nose. It's gushing from her hand. So I'm like trying to stop bleeding. So we put a towel on her wrist, and handcuffed the towel to her wrist to get the wrist to stop kind of bleeding. And it was wide open. And the blood was like dripping down into her mouth. She's spitting it all over the place. And I was like, I'm just like, sit tight. I'm gonna call 911. She was like, you are 911, you fucking idiot. And I was like, I know, but like, there's a lot going on here. I need a fucking ambulance. And she was like, you're such a fucking moron. And so I call the ambulance, and the ambulance gets here, and they're like, oh my God, did you tase her in the vagina? She's like, right, that's what I fucking said. And they were like, why did you tase her in the vagina? She's like, yeah, why did you tase me in my pussy? And I was like, I didn't mean to. Anyway, I get her all dressed up. I get the tasers, the barbs out of her vagina. We start walking out the door, and of course, all the women in the group home are sitting in the living room, and they're all looking at me, and I'm walking with my head down. And the girl just goes, "Hey, ladies, if any of you are thinking about killing yourself, do it before this asshole gets here, because he'll tase you in the pussy on your fucking way out."